Today, I want to talk about the Charlotte Dujardin video that has come out in the last week. Obviously, with the Olympics coming up, there's a lot of excitement around the sport, but this video has sort of put a damper on the Olympics, and I want to talk today about why exactly what is happening in this video is not appropriate. Now, first I want to say she's a very accomplished rider. She's done, she's obviously reached the highest level of the sport, but I think it's important to step back and think about, we all can learn something from this, and I'm sure she has learned quite a bit during this experience. And there was a statement that was released. I'll put a little screenshot of it here over the video, sort of saying that what she did was wrong. And I think it's important to recognize when we haven't done something right, that it's not okay, and to just learn and grow from those experiences. I always say, when you know better, you do better. So I hope going forward, this does change things for the sport and help people think, why is this not the right thing to do? But again, in today's video, we're going to talk about why exactly the technique that's used in this video is not correct, and how the same principle could be applied in a more humane fashion for the horse. Welcome, you're watching the EC Network Weekly Show. I'm Julia. This is your one-stop shop for all education on things horse care, riding, and training. First thing I want to draw attention to is what I mentioned before about behavior modification. So when we're doing any sort of training with horses, for the most part, the training that we're doing falls into two categories. It's either positive or negative reinforcement. Now, negative reinforcement can have a negative connotation, pun not intended, that, it's a bad thing. But really, all that negative reinforcement means is that we're taking away something that the horse doesn't like in order to create the behavior that we're looking for. And then conversely, positive reinforcement is when we're adding something that the horse does like to create that behavior. So an example of positive reinforcement is using clicker training or food rewards. There we're adding something that the horse likes. We're teaching the horse to bow on command, or even just have more positive associations with things like tacking up. Those would be positive reinforcement. Now, this type of training can also have negative results that kind of, would create some bad behaviors in the horse. So with all of these principles, we want to make sure that we're doing things correctly so that we're training the horse in a safe way for both horse and handler. Back to negative reinforcement, we're taking away something that the horse doesn't like. So for example, adding a leg pressure. So when we add the pressure of the leg, and then we get the desired response, we take the pressure away. So we're subtracting that pressure of the leg, and then we're creating the behavior that we want. The horse is looking for what reward is going to bring the relief of that pressure. One way that I really like to use negative reinforcement is actually teaching trailer loading. Really creates a less stressful environment for the horse in that, I'll tap with the whip, tap in a rhythmic manner so that I'm constantly tapping. And as soon as the horse takes one step forward into the trailer, I'm stopping that tapping. Because that's what's going to create that behavior, is the release of the pressure. Then he knows, okay, this is what's going to get that pressure away from me. Now, here's where the problem lies in that video, and I'll just put in little clips of the video to just sort of explain what I'm speaking about here. There's sort of sporadic use of the whip here. So the horse never really knows what the answer is for removing that pressure, which is also probably pretty painful for the horse in that situation. So the punishment is very random, and there just doesn't seem to be a clear answer about what takes away that pressure. If you also notice in the video, if you listen to the sound, the horse sounds pretty agitated. You can hear him breathing. He just physically, when you look at his body, he's very tense and worked up. That's because this can create a really stressful environment for the horse when he's not sure what the correct answer is. It's sort of like, if you're in the workplace and you're not sure what the correct answer is in a meeting. You know, if your superior asks you a question and you don't know the answer, you feel a ton of pressure, you feel very uncomfortable. Imagine that, but you don't speak the same language. It's incredibly difficult for the horse. When we use the tools in our training toolbox correctly, then we're able to create a much lower stress environment and situation for the horse. And really, that should be our goal as riders, as horse lovers, that we want to manage the stress of our horses. A lot of times what we're asking them to do is not stuff that they would be doing without us on their backs. And we are so lucky to ride these animals, so lucky that we get to be a part of their lives. So I hope that we can all take this as a lesson, move forward with kindness, and just think next time we're doing something, is this the right thing for me? Is this the right thing for my horse? And also, I think it's important to recognize when you're riding with an instructor, if something doesn't feel comfortable, if you're not okay with it, trust your gut and say, it's okay to say no. Even if that rider is a really respected trainer, it's okay to say that you're not comfortable with doing something, because you have to be the advocate for your horse. Now, I want to add just a little bit onto the end of this video and just say that, there was some positive news that came out this week from the equestrian space as far as the Olympics go. Will Coleman, who was supposed to be on the U.S. eventing team, actually pulled out. And I think that this wasn't quite talked about enough. I think the video of Charlotte sort of overshadowed this, but Will Coleman pulled out because the horse he was supposed to be riding just wasn't quite there physically, and he made a really selfless decision for the horse, because they are an athlete also. If they're not in the right space physically, mentally, and the rider can feel it, taking that step back and just saying, you know what, this isn't the right thing, is, I think, something to be honored and celebrated. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have thoughts or comments on Charlotte Dujardin or Will Coleman, I would love to hear your thoughts. I want this to be a really positive space, so let's just take this experience and learn and grow from it. Thanks for watching.